Hey guys, I learned something. Is that if you turn the camera sideways, you can actually see more of the guitar, which for our purposes is probably much more helpful. So today I'm going to teach you how to play Disclaimer. Disclaimer was the second track off of the Hard to Let Go album from 2008. And I distinctly remember writing this song, and it must have been either the same night of or day after my 18th birthday party. And I guess the idea behind it is that I don't know, have you ever been somewhere and you felt like you had to preface who you were in advance? Or you had things to say that people needed to hear but didn't appreciate, even though they asked your opinion in the first place. So this song is kind of like all about that. It's just like, when you give people what they ask for and it's not good enough. And this is one of my favorite guitar solos. We spent an eternity in the studio working on it. I remember it was very frustrating. But when we did finally nail it, it was perfect. And Brandon did a great drum solo on this track. I can't teach you how to play drums, but I promise you this song will actually be fairly easy. So the first chord in this is probably the easiest chord. It's the first chord that I teach my students, and you only need two fingers to do it. Okay, and it's E minor. Okay, here I'll get my fingers out of the way. E minor, it's right here on the second fret. Okay. Oh, and once again, this time I actually did tune my guitar down to E flat. So if you want to play grunge music, chances are at some point in your life you're going to have to tune down your guitar one step. I don't recommend doing this on stage because once you do that, things tend to go out of tune really fast. So if you're going to be like me and you're going to play in both standard keys and go down a step to E flat, you're going to want to have two guitars because you don't want to waste time tuning them. Also, if you don't have a headstock tuner, okay, headstock tuner has got to be the greatest invention of modern times because we used to have foot pedals that did this, and we would, or just something you held up to the guitar. And so we had a song dedicated to the tuning song, and we had to pick the order of songs based on the tuning. But now I would grab a different guitar and go. So E minor, that's your first chord. It's going to sound different to you because you're in E minor, so it's a little bit sad, maybe even out of tune sounding. Second chord, you're going to play that C formation, okay? Third finger on A, third fret, second finger on D, second fret, and then you're going to come over to the B string, first finger, first fret. That's the second chord there. Third chord is G major, just standard G major, which is kind of like the C, except you're going to drop off your first finger and you're going to put down your fourth finger on the high E string on the third fret. And then we're going to invert it, okay? This is my favorite chord ever. I use this progression all the time with this chord in it. You got it from George Harrison. It's like a D6 with the suspended second or something, or a G6. It's a weird named chord, but I just call it the George Harrison chord. Okay, and where I get that, I look at you all, see the love, you know what I mean, from My Guitar Gently Weeps. Those chords just come back over and over and over again. In my music, because that's basically how I learned to play in the first place. So E minor, C, G, and whatever this is. Okay, and that's it. That's the whole song. You're always mad at me when it's just my honesty, and when I gave you what you wanted. When our pain like this ends, so for the guitar solo, you're gonna need an electric guitar because you can't play it on acoustic. So if you're doing this acoustically, you cannot play this guitar solo because you do not have enough frets and you don't have that same volume to get it. And it's a technique that I use. You drag your pick up in between the B and the E string on the top. So you're dragging it up and you kind of get this weird like scratchy chromatic sound where it's just like you're ramping up to it. And I prefer that to the whammy bar because as soon as you touch the whammy bar, all of your keys go out of tune. So what you want to do, click and drag your pick across the top. And then it's up here, okay? You're going to need to know the E minor pentatonic scale. That's all it is. So, you know, you're dragging it up. See, there are places that you like lose it in the tone of the acoustic because you can't do that same like squeak, that pop thing that you do with the strings with your thumb. So when you're playing with the pick, if you slide off the pick gently with your thumb and you kind of hit both at the same time, you kind of pop the string. And when you do that, you get some of those really weird characteristic tones. And I slide back down. And then this is weird because I can't do this bend on an acoustic. It doesn't bend that far, but an electric with these strings, right? With you're tuned to E minor, your strings are more flexible. Yeah, and you get that like full bend there in the bottom. Okay, so I can try to teach you how to play that guitar solo, but I can't do it on acoustic. I remember the time we were friends when you changed and stayed the same. You were once like me, but you never seen the place that makes you real. And I'm so sorry that you're unscarred. Maybe that's why emotionally you always fail to see why you are so alone. When a pain like this ends, there's always someone left behind. And if you'd understand the path I've taken, maybe you'd understand. Go and fight for the one who's always lost, 'cause they're the ones who need to be found. Yeah, disclaimer, taking me down, pulling me round. Disclaimer, taking me down, pulling me round. Right, it's that same pentatonic scale. And that is Disclaimer. You never wanted to know how to play Disclaimer, but now you do.